And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host, Ray. With me as always, we have Dion. Dion.
Happy New Year for those who've been able to enjoy it.
Have you been able to enjoy your New Year's? What you do for your New Year's?
Uh, Sat in my living room and listened to niggas fire their guns off in the air like they're retarded.
Oh man, that's special. It's like a ghetto lullaby. Man. At least you didn't have to work. Yeah.
Actually, well, no, I had to work the following day. I had to work New Year's Day.
Yeah. How did that feel?
Eh, it was just another work day. I got holiday pay coming up on my next check, so there's that. For whatever the fuck that's worth, that money's basically already fucking spent between bills and three things in my apartment deciding to break at the same fucking time.
Mm. Don't you just hate when that happens? It's like you can finally got some good money coming in, and you got to spend it on stupid shit.
Uh huh.
It's like
Fuck.
it's like the universe knows.
Mhm.
It's like you knew. It's like because people asking me, it's like you gonna get yourself a PS5 yet? It's like every time when I want to, something comes up.
Right.
It's like I can never really want to spend things
And
on
it
myself.
and it's like the shit that I want to put away money for, I can't because it's always some garbage happening around me. I got furniture I need to replace and some more shit.
Oh man. Hopefully 2024 will be a better year. My 2023 was actually it was better than my other years, so I just wanted it to be better than 2023. Let's just say that.
2023 was very up and down for me, mostly down. But
Yeah, I know why. We don't have to talk about it here. Yeah.
uh, I mean, there's a lot that happened that I'm not going to talk about out loud.
I'm glad. I'm glad. I don't have to stop you this time. So, okay. With that with that being said, let's did you see Dolph Ziggler's indie wrestling name? I think it's like Ryan Nemeth or some shit like that.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I think he goes by Ryan Nemeth now. What are your takes on uh two things? Because we're gonna start off with wrestling since you're here. Um
Okay.
The Rock finally announcing that he wants Roman Reigns and Dolph Ziggler's name Ryan Nemeth.
Okay.
Also, and throw this in there too. What you think of Jinder Mahal? Doesn't he look so much better?
I mean, I'm glad to see him back. I think throwing him immediately into a title match against Seth Rollins is a bit of a weird move. Sit with him being as gone as long as he's been gone, but
I think they need people, but I don't knock it either because I honestly like Jinder Mahal as a heel. I just think he needed work, and it seems like him being in that faction is definitely working for him because he's definitely better on the mic now. But go ahead, I didn't mean to interrupt.
now as far as The Rock goes, they've teased him and Roman Reigns for the past few years so many times for that match to not happen. I can't even be excited about it. I want to be happy that that fight's finally happening. I genuinely want to, but they teased that match for it to not happen too many times for me. Maybe when the fight actually goes down and something interesting happens, because I already kind of have a vague idea of what they're attempting to do in regards to Roman Reigns and this title reign he's on right now. So it's just like even more. It's even more reason why I'm not as excited for this battle between him and The Rock as I want to be, and I guess as maybe I should be. I don't know.
I okay. For one, I think it's perfect timing. I think it's perfect time. I don't. I think when they first started it, I thought it was too soon. I feel like it needs to build more. He has to have more notches under his belt. So now that he has more notches under his belts, this feels actually like the perfect time. Like you done knocked down
Right.
John Cena, you done knocked down Edge, you done knocked down Daniel Bryan, you done knocked down other legends. I think he knocked down Undertaker on his heel run.
He hasn't hit on this particular. No, he hasn't fought Undertaker again. He has beaten Goldberg though.
He did beat Goldberg, and that was good. I will be. I'm not gonna lie to you. If I had them lose the belt, it'd have been out of Drew or Sammy. I was saying, and the only reason I'm not saying Jay Uso because I feel like he needs the other titles, which I feel like he may go at the IC or the United States title. By the way, who's the United States champion? Logan Paul.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and dear God, why?
Look, hey, don't not. I don't
that
not
that
Logan
felt
as a.
like
I don't not Logan as a wrestler, but something still, it's just like it's not connecting me to him. It's like, oh God, no.
it, it's just the simple fact that it's fucking Logan Paul.
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. But I think how can I say this? Yeah, I think it's a perfect time. Now I think obviously the other problem is we know that what the ending is. So what's the point?
I'm actually hoping that. See, here's the thing. I don't. They're pushing him and Kevin Owens, but I don't want Kevin Owens to be the one to beat Logan Paul. I want Ricochet to get his lick back.
Mm, I think honestly, and I've been saying this, I think Drew McIntyre needs a title run. I wish that he. I
He,
didn't want him. I don't want him to do it as a heel though. That's the sad part. I
yeah,
want him to get his title run, but he's on his heel run, and he's a great heel. But I wanted a babyface Drew McIntyre run. I think that'd be better.
understandable, but they would need to do something to make him the equivalent of what he was when he fought Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, if for what you're saying to work.
Yeah, no, beggars can't be choosers. Also, beggars can be choosers. I'm not knocking it. I just,
The the I know the main beef I'm waiting for to jump off is between CM Punk and Seth Rollins.
oh, that's WrestleMania. That's like I'm giving this to you.
For me, it's just a simple fact that they went out of their way to make that one super personal. That first interaction between Rollins and Punk, they went out of their way to make that so deeply personal. Now that's a fight that absolutely has to happen.
Yeah, especially the way Seth Rollins reacted when CM Punk returned. That one is just like, well, there's your WrestleMania. If they don't go through this, you're like, why?
Right. Rollins coming at CM Punk as hard as he did would have been for nothing.
Right. So it's just like, hey man, and then like I don't even care about the outcome. Right there, that is your story, and it's just like that is like literally handed to you from not just the crowd, just from the it's everybody got this hand in this. It's like a potluck dinner. Everybody chipped in on this one. Hey man,
Right.
it's from the wrestlers, from the backstage announcers, from the crowd. It's just like you know what we want. Just give it to us. Just this this is one of
Yeah.
the
There's no reason for that fight to not happen,
exactly
basically.
exactly. So, but I think they'll do the right thing. Hopefully, I do. I think they do the right thing.
I I kind of want to talk about AEW real quick because in particular the women's division on AEW.
Talk your talk.
Just have you seen? Have you seen like I'm sure you know what's been going on with in regards to Britt Baker, where just people were just I guess they seem annoyed with Britt Baker.
I haven't
I
been.
know why.
I haven't been
I know
following.
why.
I haven't been following AEW, so this would be a perfect time to fill me in because I thought people loved Britt Baker, DMD.
See, here's the thing, right? When it came to Britt Baker, basically, there's no other way to say it except people got tired of seeing her. It they You know how I always said how Charlotte Flair has become the John Cena of the women's division of WWE?
Yep.
Britt Baker is now in that same boat for AEW.
Yeah, I'll see it because that's which is weird because you have other good female wrestlers there that you could have pushed, but you kind of stuck with Britt Baker. Britt Baker.
It's exactly it's the same problem why people suddenly started hating John Cena. Certain people, not everybody. Charlotte Flair's, managed to maintain a fan base even with her being attached to everything. Um, you could almost say the same thing about Becky Lynch, but the one difference when it came to Becky Lynch is they actually booked Becky properly. And I think that is the thing that hurt John Cena and is the thing that made people suddenly turn on Britt Baker. It's nothing against them as wrestlers. It's just shitty booking combined with force feeding. You're going to make the fans hate this individual at some point. Make sense?
Yeah.
So now the women's division on AEW without Britt Baker is now in this weird space where you want to be excited for what the other women find themselves, get to do, but it's not working. The only out of the main women that they've been pushing, the only one that they've booked properly, the only ones, plural, I'll say that they've actually booked properly are um, Julia Hart and Sky Blue. I desperately want them to drop this current gimmick they're running with Tony Storm, where they got her walking around acting like she's fucking Marilyn Monroe.
You don't like that?
No,
I think this is her best gimmick. What are you? You said
no,
timeless Tony's. I love this gimmick.
it just feels weird. It just seems so forced and unnatural to me. This isn't all right. The main thing that drew
Am
me
I
in
missing? Am I
when
missing
it
something? Or
came to
what?
AEW, and hear me out. The thing that drew me in when it came to AEW is it seemed more like this was an environment where the wrestlers were legitimately being themselves. And this thing with Tony Storm just feels weird. It just looks and feels weird. I guess it's just me, I'm used to, rock star Tony Storm, but that felt more like who she genuinely was as a person.
Maybe I
The
don't
the,
know.
the, the, the timeless thing just feels off to me. It feels forced. I mean, obviously, yeah, I mean, she's obviously putting on an act, but there's something about it that just doesn't look or feel right to me personally. I don't know.
Hmm. That is an interesting take. I'm not gonna lie. It's very interesting. You, I need to see what other people think of Tony's store because I think the gimmick is fire.
It's like, eh, I mean, to each his own. For me, for me, it feels weird. For me, it feels weird. Now, don't get it twisted. I've always loved her as a wrestler. It's just this particular gimmick doesn't just just doesn't sit well with me. They could have found something better for her to do. They could have came up with something better for her to do.
Okay, all right. I'm not gonna knock you. I meant to say this because you get on AEW, and not to bring it back to WWE, but the one match that I want them to make, and I don't know if it's dated or not, but I really want this to happen. I need a fatal
Hmm.
four way with the four horsewomen as a main event.
See,
I know this is the whole thing with Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Monet. Uh, is kind of hard getting them back because she's actually being real successful outside of WWE. Like
now she supposedly has signed a new deal with WWE and is supposed to be coming back for the Royal Rumble.
I mean, if they do, that's good. But
But but it's two different rumors flying around about her, and I'm just like, okay, I, you were they were originally feeding us, this whole thing about her signing this new deal with WWE and coming back for the Royal Rumble, but there's also talks of her potentially joining AEW. So I don't know. Now, don't get it twisted. I want that match too. I think I think the whole wrestling community as a whole wants that particular fight.
I I think it's a well deserved match. I don't care who wins. I just want that
And
match to happen.
and it doesn't even need to be a title match.
No, I want it to be a
It's
title match. I want it to be a title match.
it I
I just
mean,
because let's just say
I
because
feel like because of who those four women are and what they've represented to the women's side of wrestling, that doesn't need to be a title match.
I
It's
disagree.
it's
I
just it's just straight up let it, and no disrespect when I say this, but it's just straight up let them hoes fight.
I disagree just because the way you wouldn't even have the women's division the way it is now if it wasn't for those four women. Now,
Even
granted,
more, but
you can
that's
also
even more reason why I feel like if they do by some miracle end up getting the four of them back in the same place and making it a fatal four way between them, that's even more reason why I feel like it doesn't need to be a title match. Who they are as women speak for themselves without a championship involved.
but I also want this to be a main event. That's what I'm saying. Now,
You
granted,
you
there are
you
other
just want the added drama of it being a high stakes title match,
yes, it's like
but it doesn't
having
need
high
to be
stakes.
that. Because of who they are, it doesn't need to be that.
No, no, no,
It's
no,
just
no,
a
no, no.
simple case
It's,
of
no,
which
no, no, no.
of these four is the best of the four. That's all it needs to be. It doesn't
No,
need to
I
be about a
disagree.
championship.
I disagree. It needs that high stakes. It's the only reason I'm saying it needs that high stakes because it gives them the purpose to chase after it. But it also is the added storyline of each of those four women winning the titles and what they did to get there. That's the added, mantra of what they have in it, what they have done to get there, whether it's with each other, against each other. Some of them won tag titles with each other. Some of them they
Yeah,
won. I think all of them has won an NXT belt except Bailey. No, Bailey won it. Bailey won it. She
but
won it against Tasha. Yeah, all of them has won
uh-huh.
NXT belts. They've been Grand Slam champions, I believe. You know,
The very last one to win the NXT title was Becky.
yeah. and and I think all that really adds into, and then like I want it to be a main event for WrestleMania because I feel like they
Oh
deserve.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, and
That
that's
has
why
that has to
that's
be a
why
main
that
event.
that's why that added title is added on there. Now there are other women's wrestlers that you can also say help carry that women's division. Oscar,
Oscar.
Bianca
Damn.
Belair, Rhea Ripley.
I love the fact that we both said Oscar at the exact same
Oh
time.
yeah,
She's
no,
basically the fifth horsewoman.
Oscar's a no brainer. Oscar, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss. Even though I don't think a lot of people liked her title runs, but when she did have a title run, she played a very good heel. Um, I said Bianca,
Hmm.
Rhea. Yeah, yeah, you
And
know.
hell, shit, Rhea is doing fucking. Whew.
Oh yeah. When they if you would have told me who's your female wrestler of the year, it was a no brainer Rhea Ripley, and I think no one would have because I think Fox Sports had these wrestling things, and it was just like breakout superstar of the year was obviously LA Knight. Female
Yeah,
wrestler of the year was Rhea Ripley. They said match of the year was I think the triple threat between Drew, Sheamus, and
and Gunther,
Gunther.
male wrestler of the year. I as much easily Gunther.
I think they gave it to Seth Rollins. I can't remember. I think they
I
gave it.
I like Seth and all, and I've never disliked Roman Reigns, but who has, you know, for me, no one has had better matches than Gunther. No one's put on better performances than Gunther.
Yeah, I agree with that. Um, oh yeah, so yeah, that's the only reason why I want, and I think it's been well deserved. Um,
It's one of those long overdue matches. Same with shoot. Same with this thing that we were previously talking about between The Rock and Roman Reigns. It's a long overdue match.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, uh, is this it, or is this just? I don't know. That just says Resident Inc.
Let's see.
WWE Fox categories. I think. You know what? I look. Oh yeah. I think Cody Rhodes. Actually, I think it might have been Cody Rhodes
What?
as male superstar of the year. Is male superstar of the year,
He's a
female superstar of the year, tag team of the year, match of the year, rivalry of the year, return of the year, which is probably The Rock. I think they gave it to The Rock.
return of the year for me. I'm giving that to CM Punk
Uh,
purely because it's a literal case of hell freezing over, like he said. The one person who I thought would never come back to WWE because of all the circumstances surrounding how he left and all the other drama surrounding him over the time he's been gone. You know the stories of his time with AEW or whatever. Um, the one return that no one thought would ever fucking happen.
that might have been a return of the year. The CM Punk thing might have been a return of the year.
It's either him or Randy Orton for me. And again, because of the circumstances surrounding him, I give it to Punk. Because I'm gonna be honest, like when CM Punk showed up, I didn't like a lot of stuff I see and I read about before it happens. With CM Punk, I had no fucking clue. So them keeping that under wraps, or I can't even say it was a case of them keeping it under wraps because fucking it was last minute. Like I think Dad only just put pen to paper, maybe literally just a few days before Survivor Series, and had him show up.
Yeah, I see that. I can see that.
Let's see. Who did they give tag team of the year?
I think they gave it to. think they either
Or
they gave it to Kevin Owens or Samuel. Or I think they gave it to Alpha Academy or some shit. Hell, I think they.
because I know
I'm looking.
faction
I'm
of the
looking.
year. Faction of the year was Judgment Day.
Yeah, I know that. Faction of the year. Actually, that I do know. Faction of the year was actually Judgment Day, and they had chant of the year was LA Knight. Yeah, yeah. Uh, so I just can't find it for some reason.
Can you imagine? I doubt this will happen because he's on the verge of retiring. But can you imagine if Brian Danielson came back to WWE and he had a feud with LA Knight?
I would actually like to see that.
Yes, yeah, yes, yeah.
That would actually, yeah, that would actually be
That would be hysterical.
that. Yeah.
That would be fucking hysterical. I wouldn't like. Who do you cheer for? What?
Okay. I think I found 23. Okay, I found some. Breakout Star of the Year, LA Knight. Male
Yeah.
Superstar of the Year, Cody Rhodes. So I was right about that. I wish I could find the other stuff. This is I'm finding stuff. They giving me stuff from 2022.
Weird.
Crowd chant of the year. Oh no, that was just that was,
Uh,
it was yeah, but someone I was looking at whoop that trick for some reason.
to me, that's a close second.
Okay, that okay.
To
So I
me,
know.
what that trick was a very close second. Either that or Yeet.
Yeah, but yeah, I'd have gave it a whoop that trick because I kind of fell off on that shit, but I knew about whoop that trick, and then Booker T just made it more.
It just made it more entertaining. He just added fuel to that fire.
Yeah, why are they giving me motherfucking things from like 22? Okay,
Because Google is weird sometimes.
Google, fucking weird. At least I know Bianca Belair got it on 2022, which was deserving because that was her year.
Oh, she put the team on her back.
Yeah, she did.
Like she genuinely put the team on her back, and like th- there's n- there's no one who could refute that. But
Okay, faction of the year was Judgment Day,
mhm.
and crowd chant of the year was yeah. It was between yeah, Yeet, Whoa, and Rollins song. So,
Oh, so Whoop That Trick didn't even get so much as an honorable mention.
no, but
I give that time. I think there's I think we're going to see more out of Trick Williams over the coming year.
they got to give him the belt. They got to give him the belt.
I need him and Carmelo Hayes to win this Dusty Rhodes Classic this year. They're the team that should win it, honestly.
Yeah, yeah, they should do it. If not, who is it? Alpha Academy? Is Alpha Academy in it?
Nah, it it's friggin' okay. And I'm naming the teams who are still in it. Um, Baron Corbin and Braun Breaker won their match tonight,
That might.
and
Ooh, that.
Axiom and Nathan Frazier advanced in the tournament. Also, Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams take on who is it? Malik Blade and his tag team partner. I always have trouble pronouncing his fucking name. Um, That fight happens next week, along with um Andre Chase and Duke Hudson from Chase U taking on Joaquin Wild and what's his head from LWO. I'm having
Escobar.
trouble remembering names for some reason.
Escobar.
Not Escobar. Escobar left them, remember?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue, but
Yeah.
it's funny because Escobar left the Latino faction and then made
And
another
then
Latino
join
faction.
another one with Angel Garza and fucking Humberto Carrillo.
That's it.
So
I started laughing.
you basically made a you you basically made an LWO wolf pack.
Basically, it's just like this is
That
this
was
is.
dumb.
I laughed when I saw that. I was like,
I'm
I don't know
sorry,
if
that
this
was
is
dumb.
funny or racist.
It's a little bit of both.
It's a little bit of both.
A
Okay,
little bit of both.
okay. I'll look for it later. But any last words before we move on to our topics? Because
Let's go. Let's move on because there's a whole list of other stuff we were supposed to go over, and we got wrapped up in talking about wrestling.
I knew it was going. We always that's why I always knock it out first. Uh, let's all right. Let's go into this one. I feel like it's gonna be quick. So, not that button. Let's. Dang, I haven't even seen D Wolf say. You know, D Wolf usually show up late too. He kind of.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
he's
well.
usually here by now, which is weird.
Yeah, like I said, if they come, they come. I put the bad signal out. If they come, they come. But first things I want to talk about. Obviously, I know you've seen it because you asked me if I spoke about it last week, and I kind of wanted to save it for this week because I just thought it was hilarious. Um, the man who attacked the judge.
This
so,
has to be this. I'm gonna let you play the clip before I say what I'm about to say.
so this has no sound to it. At least I don't think it did have sound to it. But this was basically what happened because I guess she was giving him a sentence. I guess she was talking shit to him, and basically this is what happened.
I,
I look. There was
I
I,
have so many questions.
before you start, Dion, I just want you to say because a lot of people was just like, "Yo, the bailiff sat there and do nothing."
That was one of the things I was like, what was security doing?
No, 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 no. So I'm gonna give the bailiff some slack if this thing plays, but you're not expecting that. I don't know why it's buffering, but if you can see the buffering, I don't care who.
Yeah,
If anybody ever seen one of those court, you know, the things the judges sit behind, they're not low to the ground. They're actually pretty fucking high.
yeah. So he leapt to get that tackle on that judge, and
He
and he didn't unassisted nothing. He cleared that shit and got to
cleared
her.
it. Like there's a gap.
So it's that's at least a total of 6 feet that this
Yeah,
man left in the air and went after that judge.
yes, he has a foot gap in between that.
And then you want to. I understand you wanting to say, oh,
Nobody
uh,
expected. No, 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 no. You're not expecting
I'm
that. You
sorry, but this man has all these different violent charges against him. He had an assault charge, domestic violence. I think there was an assault with a deadly weapon in there somewhere. Why was this nigga not restrained?
well, I was saying that if this one of those things where I swear to God, YouTube is one of those things where it's like they took the video down.
That to me, that was the first fuck up. Why was this cat not restrained?
Bang. All right. Let's see if I can back up a little.
This man had a laundry list of violent charges.
Look at that. And she tried to get away. She tried to
She's in a sitting position. She's stuck.
look, look, look.
She's
She
not getting out
froze.
of the way of that.
Look,
She's
you're
in a
not.
sitting position.
I'm telling you, 9 out of 10 people would have froze just like her. She tried to get away, but it was too late. But
Again, there's nothing you could do with someone literally flying at you and you're in a sitting position. Not and then not to crack on her age, but she's obviously an older woman. Her reaction time ain't like that, no way. So she was getting hit regardless.
yeah. Now the worst part was the weak ass punches. And look how they came in. This is they was ready. This is how he came in the next day. Like a caged
They
animal.
should have had him chained up like that from the start. Again, all them violent charges. Why was this man not already restrained?
And the fact that she came back in there is like, first of all,
I mean, she has a job to do. She can't not show up to court. She's the judge. She can't not show up to court.
I like the fact that she's looking up like, is it like she's waiting for him to break out the chains and attack her again? I think that's just look at
You'll
her.
probably have to dig and look for it, but Judge Judy actually commented on that. And can I just say, had it been Judge Judy behind that podium, he wouldn't have tried that shit.
Oh no,
Judy would have busted him all across the head with that gavel. Judy wouldn't have been having that.
oh no, oh no.
Judy
It's
would
just
have
like,
beat his
but
ass.
but like I tell everybody, y'all would have froze too. Did I ever tell you about one of the shit the assholes I took from my mom that like left me in shock? Look at this shit. So
Oh
I might as well.
boy.
I might as well because I'm pretty sure I
You,
said this
you
story.
you brought it up. You brought it up. Go ahead and tell the story. You already brought it up.
Okay, so I got suspended. I got suspended, and like my mom gave me a whooping and all that other stuff. So after I got the whooping, I stumped it. I went to my room and I slammed the door, and then like I went to my room and all that other stuff. And about 5 seconds later, all I hear was doom, 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 doom. Meaning my mom, she had a gastric bypass, so she's not as big as she was. So this is during her big Susan days. She was a big woman then.
Ah,
She kicks my door open. And I'm gonna tell you, like, from the door to where my bed was a good, let's just say it's the length of a WWE ring.
mm.
Right. And you know how Shane McMahon does a coast to coast?
Oh shit.
My mother, I swear to you, did a 5-star frog splash from one end to the row all the way to me. And I swear to you, that's the first time I witnessed my life going into slow motion. And I can see her in me. And like I'm looking at me and I just have this big old shock look on my face because I ain't never seen my mom ain't move that fast and jump that high. When I tell you it's just one of those like by the time she landed on me and punched me in my face and told me don't ever fucking do that again, like I wasn't even crying. I was in
You
disbelief.
was right. You couldn't cry because you were still trying to process what the fuck just happened.
I swear to God, to this day, it's just like I don't know where the fuck that energy came from, but like she just it's just one of those things where it's just like you're in disbelief. And to this day, I don't think she remembers this story, but I vividly do. And if you think I'm exaggerating, I'm not. Like you had to be. It's one of those things where
I
you just had to be there.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. I'm not doubting it.
So when I seen that, and I hate to say it, I laughed when I first saw it because I thought it was funny as hell, and then I was like, "Oh no,"
Why would you laugh as
because it was funny.
when it's not?
It's
It's
one of
really
those.
not.
It's one of those. It's not funny, but it's funny.
It's one of those looking back. I can see if you said like looking back on it now, it was funny. It,
No, I meant the judge. The judge thing.
oh, okay.
Oh no, looking back on that, I laugh at that. That's why I tell the story with so much humor. Like it's funny now, but back then I was like, "The fuck just happened?"
Again, you have to go through the process of just again just processing, man.
Never underestimate the strength of a black woman, y'all. Just it's just
I,
one of
but now that you say that, it makes me wonder. Like, what was the first thing that went through that judge's mind when homie leapt over that podium?
I think he was just. I think she was talking shit to him. She was just talking
She
shit.
was, she
She
was.
was like, "You fucking bitch," and then he's just.
Because I saw like the full video of that like sound and all, and she was talking big shit.
Yeah,
Her
that
exact words to him, if I remember correctly, as he's trying to like plead his case, trying to talk her out of sending him to jail or whatever. Like she was just like, yeah, I can't with that history, and that was when he went off.
first of all, with his history, I wouldn't let him out of fucking jail either. And I think he's just like he looked like he had a couple screws loose. Because if anybody attack a judge like that, you have a fucking couple screws loose. Second of all, that nigga need to be locked up. And like you said, that nigga need to be in chains. You look like a Rottweiler. After you discipline, you ever seen when a Rottweiler look out the side of his eyes after been disciplined? That's what it look like. So it, but
Oh shit.
any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Man, don't let him out. Don't let that dude out. That's all I got to say about that.
Keep that
Keep
nigga.
him under the jail.
Yeah,
He don't need to be out in the streets.
I don't want to hear free my nigga. No, no. Mm-mm. Oh, have you heard about the aliens? Someone finding aliens in Miami.
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna find a story, but I thought it was funny, and I was hoping D would be here because he probably knows something about this. But
If you'd have said something about the one thing in what part of Pennsylvania was that where the sky started changing colors and shit?
oh, I saw that too. Someone said that was 2024 download. It's the
But
updated patch.
someone. Well, there was an explanation for that, but I'll save that for you know for once we're done talking about this alien thing.
No, let's talk about it now because all it is just like
Basically, something weird happened at a power plant in this town of Pennsylvania, and there was so much like electricity and lights and whatnot going off. If you were in them, like within a certain radius of where this power plant was, it looked like the sky was changing colors, basically.
yeah, it's like over there freaking regular people out. And but hold on, I think I found the video. But that shit, I saw the video. I saw the video of that one too. That shit was crazy. I was
Uh,
like,
when
we
I first
everybody's
saw it,
scared. Everybody's scared and shit. But you
yeah, when I first saw that, I was like, until I see a legitimate explanation for what's causing that, I think it's aliens.
get aliens.
That's the one I was like, until I see an explanation for it, I'm assuming that's aliens. But
I would show
going
the
back
video,
to
but it's so it's so grainy. You're gonna be like, what the fuck am I looking at?
that's probably why folks was, you know, saying whatever they were saying about this so-called alien sighting in Miami. You can't really tell what's what.
Yeah, and it's from like a high view, but it's just like you can't really tell. But I was just I was hoping D would be here. He probably know more because it's probably some rabbit hole that he knows that. that man. But since we don't know much about that, we can skip that. Any last words before we get on to another topic?
No.
Okay, so let's talk about Cat Williams and him being on Club Shay Shay and basically exposing
Ooh.
everything that's like in the Hollywood business and all the other stuff, and him going at comics like Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Tiffany Haddish, Ludacris. I know Ludacris is not a comic, but he got a stray too. Phase on Love, Diddy, Jonathan Majors, TD Jakes, basically whoever in that 3 hour interview, and Kevin Hart, also Kevin Hart. Now, some people responded back, some people just kept silent, but a lot of people is like they bigging up Cat for doing this. So, what do you think about the whole interview and everything?
I'm not sure what to. I'm not entirely sure what to think. I mean, first of all, it's certain folks that a lot of the folks he was talking about in the interview, like we all niggas already knew they was shady, So it's just like I wasn't, I wasn't surprised by certain stuff purely for that reason. Like I said, we already knew certain cats were shady. I there ain't much you could say about Steve Harvey that niggas don't already know. There ain't much you could say about um who who else who else was it? Kevin Hart or you
Kevin
know
Hart, Cedric the Entertainer.
Cedric the Entertainer. See, that was one of the names he dropped in was talking shit about that kind of threw me because it was just like, damn, Cedric normally be cool. Cedric don't fuck with nobody. Cedric don't you know, from what I know, hasn't been involved in any weird shit concerning nobody. So it was just like, damn, you had the Cedric the Entertainer. Shit.
Yeah, he said he stole his joke.
I mean, comedians use other people's material all the fucking time. I've
Mm.
heard several comedians tell the same joke in different ways, and it not be a major deal like that. Shoot. Bernie Mac is my favorite comedian of all time, and some some of his jokes I've heard before he's set them on stage. The for example and they showed a clip of this somewhere on Instagram. The one joke he did on the Kings of Comedy with the stuttering bus driver.
Hmm.
That's one I've heard before. That's one I heard before he had said it. My grandmother told me that joke before. That's one of those is an oldie but a goodie. He he switched it up and told it in his own fashion and made it funnier, but that's an old joke. So it's one of those unless it's some shit that you personally wrote, you know, I can understand. And then even with that, a lot of comics have don't even write their own shit. They have a team of writers that do shit for them. So that was weird to me.
Is that it?
Yeah. Um what was I didn't see the entire interview, but another name that he was talking about that kind of threw me off because again, this is someone you don't see a lot and like he don't be involved with nobody. What's the beef with him and Phase on Love? Because apparently there was some story about Cat Williams pulling a gun on him.
I know from what I've seen, and don't take this as a grain of salt, but this is what I've seen. Um, Faison Love was asked who's the most overhyped comedian, and Faison Love said Cat Williams. And it's because he's been doing the same shit since like he debuted, or since he got famous. The whole pimping thing, and he's been riding off that Friday after next thing, and he's not as funny. And I guess because his last comedy special kind of flopped, in which it wasn't that funny.
Which was what was his very last one again?
I can't remember what the last one. It was on Netflix, and I don't. It wasn't as funny as his old Pip Chronicle shit. So it just wasn't as funny. So like you'll get your laughs in, but you're like it's the first time people looked at. Is there something wrong with Cat? Because it's like his energy wasn't high. Now I know he's older, but it's like his energy wasn't as up there, and it just wasn't.
It wasn't the Cat Williams we
No,
were used to.
yeah, we're known for. And I don't even think it was up to his standards either. But as far as I know, Faison Love just think he's an overhyped comedian. I guess I've heard Cat Williams pull the gun out on him because Cat Williams Cat Williams crazy like that. I'm not gonna say he on drugs, but I know the nigga crazy. Sometimes drug crazy is your own drug itself. So
Yeah. Um, because
I remember he
I
was
think in
at
regards to that, what had happened, the story I heard was Cat Williams apparently owed Faison Love some money for something. I can't remember exactly what it was. All I know is when Faison, made an attempt to collect the money that Cat owed him, a dispute broke out. Cat pulled a gun on him, and shit went south from there.
I can see that happening. But I gotta look up on it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just I just think Faison think that Cat is an overhyped comedian. It's not that funny, and I know Catwood was like that man don't even got no specials. How the hell are you talking about who funny or not? But
I mean, do you really expect Faison Love as old as he is? Because ain't he damn near 70?
I don't know how old they're like. They're all in their 50s. First of all, a lot of these people,
Faison Love is up there. I know Faison Love is like up there, up there. I think he's just behind Steve Harvey as far as age.
yeah, a lot of these. Well, for one, a lot of these people are in their 50s, late 40s, early 50s.
Let me see.
God, how time flies. That the fact that I'm saying it. First thing,
Faison Love. Oh, okay, okay. Faison Love is okay. He's younger than I thought he was. Faison Love is 55. Because when he played Big Worm on Friday, I swore he was already 30 something.
he probably was already 30 something. Um, I would
No,
say,
that was back in the 1990s.
yeah, probably like late
So he
20s.
was in his 20s at that point.
Yeah, probably late 20s, early 30s. He used to talk. Actually, Faith on Love used to talk with Robin Williams, not Robin Williams, uh, Robin Harris. You know, and he did. He's actually the voice of Robin and Bebe's kids of Robin Harris. If anybody understand that, like comedian Robin Harris, that had that whole bit about Bebe's kids.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I remember him.
A lot of people don't know that that was actually Faison Love that was voicing Robin Harris, not Robin Harris, because Robin Harris has already died when Baby's Kiss was being made. It came out, so most people don't know that. So with that being said, yeah, so I'm pretty sure that beat goes around a long time, and I will say this. Uh, I'm sorry, I done blanked out. I do believe a lot. You know, for one, like some of these stories, like Dion said, you've heard before Cat Williams even exposed them. You are some people I've heard about like Steve trying to lowball Bernie Mac. because Bernie Mac was like funnier was funnier than Steve Harvey on the Kings of Comedy tour.
Oh,
So
by miles.
yeah, so Steve Harvey instead of Steve Harvey used to go on last, but Bernie was so funny that uh they switched things around, and now a lot of people didn't want to follow Bernie because Bernie was shutting down, and people had to follow that. So Bernie now went on last, and Steve just went to the hosting thing.
Hmm.
Uh,
Isn't and for the record, isn't Steve Harvey was never a bad comedian, but it was just something special about Bernie Mac.
oh yeah, it's like being on it. It's like how can I say this? It's like Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen is great, but that's Michael Jordan.
Right.
And I think that's how people was looking at Bernie Mac. It's like Steve Harvey's funny, but he ain't no Bernie Mac. And Bernie Mac can have you with stitches. And Bernie Mac will have you with stitches. If you watch any of his comedy specials, the nigga will have you with stitches. Now, would I think he
Yes.
will thrive today? No, because he had a lot of jokes about sissies.
Oh yeah, Bernie Mac would have probably been canceled several times. Oh, but then you know what? Bernie Mac being the type of person I don't think cancel culture would have meant the damn thing to him.
I agree.
I think they would have. I think they would have tried him, and all it would have did, he would have just been the butt of the next joke. Whoever would have tried to come at him, and oh, you can't do this, you can't say that, whatever, whatever. They would have just been the butt of the next joke.
Oh yeah, he probably would have told him, fuck you, motherfucker. But
The only nigga I can say use the term motherfucker better than Samuel L. Jackson.
I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. You don't understand.
But yeah,
But my bad.
what was his beef with Tiffany Haddish also?
I don't know. I
'Cause
really don't know.
that's the one that threw me off the most because he was one of the main ones helping Tiffany Haddish get on at one point.
I think it's because excuse me. I mostly think because he clicked with Kevin Hart. I think that's more of a clickish issue. And like Kevin Hart has his own clique of people. Steve Harvey has his own clique of people, and the whole gatekeeping Hollywood thing.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Um, so
It's weird, but at the same time, with the way the entertainment industry works, you kind of have to have that.
somebody got to be looking
It's-
out for you because I think if you're out there on the island, you're most likely to get fucked.
no, that's if you hang out with Diddy. But anyway,
I like that low blow. That was a low blow. A fair low blow, but a low blow.
we're not gonna open up that conversation again.
Oh, I talked about it last week, so you ain't got to worry about it. But I will say this: some of the stuff that Cat Williams said, if I was any of those comedians, I would have been like, I need to see the paperwork. Like this, like him saying, like Ricky Smiley next movie, he needs to be in a dress. Show me the contract paperwork. If I was Ricky Smiley, I was like, show me the paperwork. Uh, the whole thing with Friday After Next talking about that was a rape scene, and Ice Cube was just like, look, he made Money Mike who he was, but there was no rape scene. Like,
Maybe
like
an attempted rape scene, but
yeah,
not
there
a
was an
full
attempted rape
on,
scene.
hemming him up and taking his cheeks. We all remember what he did to homeboy with them pliers.
Yeah, yeah. Cube said the pliers was always in the scene, so it was never a rape joint. But how did you feel about Ludacris responding by rapping?
I actually did not get to see that yet.
It
I
wasn't
actually haven't
okay.
seen that yet.
I'm gonna just say this: it wasn't bad, but I see people clowning him for it, and I don't know why. Because he's a rapper, that's what he does. Like he's going to rap. Like the same thing. Like when Chris Rock got slapped, instead of him responding, he did a comedy special.
A shitty one.
Nah, that shit was funny.
I didn't care for it.
Why?
For one, the main thing people were waiting to hear, he was taking too long, and then I understand saving that part for the main event, but everything before that was just so fucking dry.
Okay.
And really, all he really did was call Will Smith the bitch. That's all he did.
Okay. One, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I'm gonna disagree with you. but
I mean,
that
if
man
you want to
got.
go after a motherfucker, go after a motherfucker. You know
But
what I'm saying?
I think he went after him. But he's still like it was
Not
like.
not to the degree that I feel he should have.
Nah, I think I will say he did hold back, but he got the main points that he was going out of. And two, like you can't tell nobody how to feel, how to retaliate. It happened to him. So if he wanted to take his time, let him take his time. I think all that time he spent, I think he was trying to perfect the joke because one, he did it live, and two, he even fucked up on the joke a little bit. So you could tell it still got to him. But the fact that he did it on his time, I'm with it. I'm with it.
I guess, but I do agree with you what you were saying about Ludacris though. Even though I didn't actually see it, I did hear some of the stuff people was saying about him. Rapping about it or whatever, and I agree with you on that point of, well, what did you expect? He's a rapper. That's his thing.
It,
That's what
he
rappers
was
do.
the thing that it pissed me off because I love Cat Williams. I don't want people to understand. I love Cat Williams. I think he's funny as hell. But it's more or less to the Cat Williams dick riders or the people that like wants to expose Hollywood, even though most of the shit was already said. Like I've heard other comedians talk about this too. But it was like if you're quiet, oh, people are quiet now. Now that Cat Williams is. But if they were speaking, they tried to decipher of they're just trying to like hide through it or some shit like that. So it was like a lose lose.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Catch 22. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Exactly, and that's what I picked up off of that. And a lot of people was like that, and they tried to do it ludicrous. I was like, so if you didn't say anything, y'all have been like, oh, Ludacris didn't say nothing. So I thought that was kind of fucked up.
It. I know some of the people kept was talking about they better not say anything. They better stay where the fuck they at. Because he did speak some truth. The main chunks of that interview, because it's a whole 3 hours long. I'm not gonna sit through the entirety of that. But the clips that I saw of that, of certain things he said about certain people, there was some truth being spoken. And there's some motherfuckers, you better not say anything. You you better stay wherever the fuck you at, and let that shit go.
And also, what is it going to do now? Because do you think any of this is going to hurt Steve Harvey? No. Is it going to hurt Kevin Hart? No. Is it really going to hurt anything that the other people he talked about? Not really. Steve Harvey's still going to host Family Feud. Satch's going to do what he does. Kevin Hart just like put out a movie, so obviously it's not hurting him. So it's just like, what is this all going to do? And this is not towards Cat. It's more or less the Cat Williams Dick Riders. It's not going to do anything.
Pretty much.
So that's basically what I got to say about that. Any last words before we move on to the next topic?
No.
Okay, these next two topics Dion brought to me. So Dion, I would like you to introduce these next two topics.
Okay, so I'm a okay. I'm gonna save the one scary one for last. So I don't know if you've seen this clip going around showing off these little girls, and these are like not even preteen yet. Like we're talking like 7, 8, 9 year olds. Apparently, these girls have these girls' parents have been signing them up for pole dancing classes, and all I can say is, why in the fuck does a child need to be in an environment like that? So you know how you've always said some people just really don't need to be parents.
Yeah, I've said that.
The, things like this are why people say what you said. Some people just don't need to be parents because what the fuck? You want to talk about just setting up your child to for complete and utter failure. There's another clip I saw of, and this one especially pissed me off. I mean, both of them pissed me off, but you know, someone thought it'd be a good idea to put a whole lace front on what looked like this baby couldn't be no more than a year old. So her skull, her scalp, and everything else are literally still developing, and you're putting a lace front on this baby's head. What are like, ladies? What is going on? What are y'all doing to these kids? It's like my black women. What are y'all doing to these kids?
So last week, I don't know if you saw some of the clips last week, but I talked about a bunch of little black girls and they were singing "Bend that ass over, let that coochie breathe, hands on your knees." I don't
Was
know if you saw that last week.
was the one singing? Was it the one singing "Sexy Red" and whatnot? Or
She was singing "Sexy Red."
ugh, everything about "Sexy Red" disgusts me. I'm sorry, I can't even hear her name without my stomach churning. Everything about her disgusts me.
Got my stomach bubbling.
Right.
So all right, I'm gonna be real with you. White people been doing
Yeah.
that to their kids. I don't, were the kids black?
Yes.
Okay, the pole dancing thing.
Yes.
I'm not even gonna hold you. White kids do it too. I just looked up a couple videos. Now I'm not saying it's any better, but I could pull up videos about 3 years ago. White kids doing they're more or less for Cirque du Soleil shit, and they more of a use it of a ballet. Now I don't know if it's any better or not
No,
because
this is straight. No, this is the clips that I'm talking about. This is straight up strip club shit.
send me the video and I meant to ask you that. Send me the video and like I want to decipher this because I don't I because I've seen white people do it, but the reason why they do it is because they little kids going to be in like Cirque du Soleil or some shit like that, and they're like acrobats, and pole dancing does help you core out when it comes to that.
Give me a second to. No, not that one. No, no. Okay, I see the clip you were talking about with the white kids. That's huh that popped up first. Where is? Because I'm looking on YouTube to see if I could find. Nope, I gotta go back to Insta. Because the clip that I saw on Instagram was this one content creator actually like reacting to the shit.
Just send me the Instagram link and put it in the Jitsi, and I'll play it.
Let me see. Which one? No. Okay. Where is it? Wait. Where the hell is this clip? Cause the dude who did the reaction, I'm on his page. Okay. I'm actually gonna send you two things. Since I found this one first, I'm gonna send you the one of them putting this lace front on this baby. I'm gonna send you this one first, and then I'm gonna double back and look for the other one. Like paste. There we go. So there's that, and then let me go back to Insta and where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Why can't I find it all of a sudden? Did he delete the video?
I was about to say, did you find it yet? What is it on TikTok or Instagram?
It's on Insta. Hold on. No, that's
Okay,
not the
I see.
one.
Okay, I see the one. Oh, put it in. No, put it in the Jitsi chat. That's what I said. Put it in the Jitsi chat so I can play it.
Oh, hold on. Right here. Oh,
I've heard of this dude. I'm 6'7".
yeah,
Okay, all right.
I can't find the clip of him that he did with the girls with the pole dancing thing.
Okay. Shoot. Hold on. I'm gonna at
This
least
is it.
while you do that, I'm gonna at least play the video of the kid getting a lace front. And
Yeah. If I scroll long enough, it'll. No one freaking.
oh, they're African. At least one of them look African. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if she's Nigerian.
Yeah. Where is it? What the hell?
No, and no. First off, that baby is cute. Babies don't need much to be cute. Babies are babies. You're already planting in that young lady's head that her natural hair ain't good enough. I'm not one to tell anybody how to raise their kids, but this is just a no for me. You putting all that glue on her head. You messing up her hair that's already there. Sometimes y'all just gotta let kids be kids and leave adult stuff to adults. A lot of parents just want to do adult stuff on kids. It's kind of like when you see parents buy their kids Gucci this, Fendi that, Louis this. These kids
Why
don't
can't
know.
I find it?
They'll wear Barbie doll sneakers. You doing that because you want that. Just let kids be kids, and that's it. Respectfully, of course. No,
Okay. I agree with everything that brother said.
I
I
can't
agree.
find this other clip, and I don't get it. I'm not understanding why this is not showing up. I literally just saw this earlier today. Did I send this to anyone? I'm trying to see if I sent it to anyone to show it to them so I could get their thoughts on it or anything like that, or like, oh, okay, I remember that. That was just weird. I was talking about a different clip.
Okay.
I can't I can't find it all of a sudden. he must have ended up he must have ended up taking the video down or some shit.
Now you said the kid was black, right?
Yeah, and again, these kids couldn't have been no older than 10. They were little. And they're not, and they weren't doing none of the acrobatic stuff that you would see in like Cirque du Soleil that you were talking about, whatever. This was straight strip club, hanging upside down with the legs spread and sticking the ass out and all of that, like all the ratchet shit.
I believe you, and well, that's why I was just like, I need to see the video because, like, if you
I'm willing to bet because this is kids doing what they were doing, even though he's not the one who did this. He was just doing a reaction to the shit or whatever. Something happened and he ended up getting forced to take that video down.
was it by the same guy, the 6 or 7 guy.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet something happened and he ended up being forced to take the damn video down. Cause I lied to you not, I literally saw this video just like it, right before I brought it up in the group chat, like maybe a few minutes before I sent that message. Like I had just watched this. This is weird. I don't understand why I'm not seeing this.
Hmm. Maybe it was a Mandela effect. Because sometimes they do that. Because 50 Cent will put up some videos and he'll put up some videos and then like it just go down. So
This is this is bizarre. I don't understand why I can't find that clip. Let me
but go ahead, say what
let
you
me
want to say about it.
like I've said what I wanted to say. Why, just why are we enrolling kids in this type of thing? And people wonder, oh man, if I seem disturbed, it's because I have a daughter of my own, and it'd be a cold day in hell before I sit back and let my child be signed up for some shit like this. Just as a father with a daughter, like I find this rather infuriating. I find these kinds of things infuriating.
Yeah, this is um I'm not going to take anything away from what what you probably saw because that's why I asked to see the video and for some reason
It,
and
it's
it
gonna
does.
come. It's gonna come up as we wrap up this damn episode. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm gonna just going through something and it's gonna show up when we done spoke on it already.
yeah, because it sometimes it happens like that. But because I've seen, like I said, I've seen videos of toddlers on stripper, but when I see them do it, it's off of acro. It's basically they do it for acrobats and Cirque du Soleil. And if anybody understands the Cirque du Soleil thing, it's just like it's more or less for your core. Because let's just say if your wife wanted to do stripper classes or your significant other wanted to do stripper classes, stripper pole classes, I will actually be for it because pole dancing does actually strengthens your core. It's actually a really good exercise for stripper. And I don't know if it does anything for the bedroom, but it does like strengthens your core for the women and like it helps them get their balance. It really does stuff as far as that. But if you would have asked me for my daughter to do it, I'd have been like, hell no. Because unless my daughter wants to get into a gymnastics or B, Cirque du Soleil. I don't see no reason for her to do
And
it.
then even still, if she wants to do that type of stuff, there are actual gymnastics classes for kids. I am not putting my daughter on a fucking pole.
Exactly. And if anybody remembers that Chris Rock joke, he said, "My one job as a father is to keep you off that fucking pole."
Thank you.
So I'm not so if what Dion saw and it really triggered him, I will back Dion with that because you don't really need your kids on that fucking pole like that. And like I said, there are other exercises that you can help your core out. If she wants to be an acrobat or a gymnast, there are classes for that. You don't have to do stripper poles. So, um, any last words before we move on to the next topic you wanted to talk about?
Just that's not something for children, point blank, period. Unless it's that, and then even still, you know, there's other stuff children can do that's not sexualized. And that's all I got to say about that. And the other thing, I'm gonna get back on Google and let me make sure I spelled this right. Because all right, I want to find the actual article, and I'm gonna dig for this article and send this to you if I can find it. But apparently in Jackson, Mississippi, right? And I have multiple questions about this. Uh, there's a prison in Jackson, Mississippi that have just been burying people's bodies behind the place, right? Whether it was people who died in said prison, or you know lost their life in whatever interaction with the police, whatever. They're just burying these people's bodies behind the prison and not telling the families shit. And what makes it worse, when any of these any of the deceased relatives do inevitably find out that this person passed on, this prison has been charging the families to recover the bodies, to because they want to actually give their loved ones you know a proper ceremony, proper burial. And the biggest thing that bugged me, you know it's it's sad to say this, but you hear about police wrongfully killing people all the time, to the point where it's sad to say I'm numb to it. But it's the fact that we're talking about 200 some odd bodies that were buried behind this prison, and the families were charged to recover the remains of their loved ones. So for it to be that many bodies, how long has this been going on?
I would.
And why aren't more people, like, why aren't more people coming down you know on law enforcement about this? Here, I found a YouTube video. All right, I'm gonna pause this. Can I?
Yeah, just make sure you put it in Jesse.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I see an article about 215 bodies found in Jackson, Mississippi. Is that the same
Yeah,
one?
yeah. I just put the YouTube joint that I just found up
Okie dokie, I'll pop it up right as we speak.
because this is highly disturbing, and more people need to be talking about this. Some, something's got to be done here. Because what?
All right, I found it, and for guys wondering, I'm about to pop it up as we speak. Uh, I want to also ensure this is fair use because I don't want this to get fucking hit with no goddamn copyright claim. But let's look at what Dion sent us. So
215 bodies found in an unmarked graves at Mississippi jail. 215 bodies found in unmarked graves, Mississippi jail.
oh, this the young
Some 215 bodies have been found in a pauper cemetery behind a prison in Hinds County, Mississippi. The gravesite is intended for people who have no known family, but relatives of the deceased say officials failed to contact next of kin, despite some of the deceased having identification. The markers there. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump is representing the families of Mario Moore, Dexter Wade, and Jonathan Hankins, who were all buried in the cemetery without knowledge of their families. Men's mothers are pictured on the right. Mario Moore's family would discover authorities had buried him months ago in the pauper's field after he was found slain on the street early February 2023. His body buried in July. His family says they didn't learn of his death until early October when they saw Moore's name in a list published by CNN affiliate WLBT, 24 homicide victims whose identities had not been publicly disclosed by the Jackson Police Department. Wade was hit and killed by a police vehicle. And although the victim had an identification, Wade's family has not been notified of his death. His family thought Wade was missing until they recently learned he was buried, identified by only a number in the pauper cemetery, again, just outside of Jackson. Jonathan Hawkins' mother, Gretchen, telling Fox affiliate WBLT, it's like they just threw him out like trash, just like they did with the others. Hankins was reported missing by his mother when he didn't return home one weekend in May 2022. After more than a year of his mother working with the Rankin County Sheriff's Office and searching, it would be NBC News who would solve the mystery as part of an investigation into people being buried in the Hinds County Pauper's Field. Jonathan had been found dead on May 23rd, 2022, 3 days after leaving home in a hotel room in nearby Jackson. Investigators quickly verified his identity, but the Hinds County Coroner's Office and the Jackson Police Department, which both responded to the scene, failed to tell his family. The county buried him in a grave marked only by a number, 645. Yet NBC News with the details. Activist Arthur Reed, who works with Crump, recently visited the gravesite where the deceased.
I think that's about before. Damn. Damn. Instinct. I'm just going to. You got anything to say, Dion, before I start?
Again, like I said, I have several questions about this. Just like, how long has this been going on? And just the thing that wasn't mentioned in this clip, or I guess they might have brought it up as you, if you would have let it play again. They were charging these families after not even telling the families about, what happened to their loved ones and them being buried behind this place, charging them to, get the remains of the deceased so that they could, give them a proper send off. And it's just like the complete disregard for human life here, and looking at each of the victims, I think you know why, and I'm not even gonna say it out loud. Looking at the faces that were showed there, we know why. This is the all I'm saying is this is the deep south we're talking about, and I'm gonna leave it at that.
The deep, deep south. The deep, deep south. I'm not even trying to make jokes of it, but
I
there's some.
know.
I'm not. I'm not. But I'm going to say this. There are some things that I've heard about stories in the South that you. Sometimes I'm glad I live. I would say across. I would just say above the Mason Dixon line, because New Yorker. If you're a New Yorker, you consider Maryland the South. But
Yeah,
let's just say
we consider anything south of Delaware the South.
right. So I'm just gonna say this. I'm glad I don't live in the South sometimes, even though there's some parts of the South that is peaceful. But I've been with a, let's just say I've been with a homeboy when I was in the Navy. Went to his his stomping grounds in like Waycross, Georgia. First off, I don't know why I went, because it was not like we had a 3 day weekend. It was a 2 day fucking weekend, and I barely made it to fucking work. The man wanted to miss work, and I said, "No, nigga, I need to get back to work." He was like, "I ain't trying to get in trouble and shit." But I made it to work on time. He didn't go to work till like later on in the afternoon, but that's another story. But where he said, but the part of the South we went to when I went to go visit his family, bumfuck nowhere. Like their club was like a bar, but it was like mixed with like black and white people. And the whole time I'm thinking, niggas could shoot me right now and just leave me somewhere, and no one would,
And no one would know nothing.
not a goddamn thing. So it's just like there's the South, and then there's the South. And I'm it's just like as disgusting as I'm like, for some reason I feel like that's what they did to niggas back in the day. You know, when a black person's like stand up to a white person and they go stitch to the cops or whatever white person there, and they just go to their doors just like bring that nigga out of here, and then like they disappear. That's what that reminds me of. It just seemed oddly
To
familiar.
to quote Samuel L. Jackson as Simon in Django Unchained, bust you in the head with a hammer and throw your ass down a nigga hole.
Right. Like stuff like that. It's just like you wouldn't think it would go on in this time of days, but like I said, that's the South. That's the
And that is
SOUTH.
literally it's literally take away your name, go and give your ass a number.
It is like
And then when they done with you, throw your ass in a nigga hole. That's exactly what the fuck they did to them people there.
yeah, they basically did, and that's honestly, if I'm correct, Jackson, Mississippi is where most niggas is at. So the fact that this happened where majority of niggas is at, I can't tell you what happens in those sundown towns. And anybody knows what the sundown town is, let's just say, as a black person, you don't want to be.
If you know, you know, and if you don't know, you don't want to know.
So I have the fact that thank you, Dion. I thank you for bringing the story up, but I also want to see where they're going to go with this story. So I'm going to keep in track of this story to see what the fuck they're going to do, because 215 bodies, something has to be done.
Uh, Again, my biggest question is how long has this been going on?
From what it seemed like some months, and if they're saying months, that's probably when they found out. It's probably been happening for
And
some years.
and something tell me the photo where they show the unmarked graves and whatever. I saw a tree line back there. So you know where I'm going with that.
Blood on the leaves.
It, it's probably some folk buried behind that tree line that don't nobody know about.
It's probably more than 215 bodies. That's probably the one bodies they found. There's probably
Right.
more bodies that they didn't find.
That's what I'm saying. Check behind that tree line, or behind where you saw that photo where them graves was, because oh man, this one D Wolfer had a field day with.
Oh yeah, and this is the type of shit that makes North niggas not want to be around the South. Shit, but like I said, I'm gonna keep track of this story and see if it goes any further. So, Dion, you have any last word before we move on to our final thoughts?
If you black, stay out of Mississippi. If you're already in Mississippi, run.
All right, now we're about to get into our final thoughts, and since Dion, you are the only one here, do you have any final thoughts?
Um, as I said earlier, we're not even knee deep into 2024, and you see the types of things that are already jumping off. Stay safe, mind your business, hug your loved ones, and that's all I got to say.
I don't have that much of final thoughts, but I will want to say this. As I say every year, um, the more that I keep making this content, and the fact that I keep going with this podcast, I couldn't do it without the people on that comes on every week, and they deal with my time changes and all that other stuff. So I want to say, like, at least Dion, while you're here, I appreciate you coming on every week, or try to make it every week. It was like, I know it takes time out of your schedule. You're a working man, obviously. You got kids to feed, and yet you still come out here and you give your opinion. And so I want to say personally, I appreciate everything you do to make this podcast keep going.
It's always a pleasure because the things we discuss here like need to be talked about. As you can see, it's a lot of stuff that while we laugh and joke about certain things, it's a lot of stuff that need to be brought to the forefront.
Right. So like I said, and for the others, I probably do this whenever the other people come back. Trust me, I appreciate y'all as well. So that's all we have for today. I'd like to thank the panel for jumping on as usual. I'd like to thank all of y'all for listening to hear us talk our shit again. This is You Know What? Let me just say podcast. And we're signing out. Peace.
Adios.